I'm honored to be able to speak to all of you about the wonderful Parnassah Expo that's going to be taking place this year at February 12th at the Meadowlands Exhibition Center. You know, there's a very interesting Gemara. The Gemara is in Brochas Daf Gimel Amud Beis, and the Gemara tells us that every night at Chatzos, a north wind would come and blow on the harp of David HaMelech, and he would awaken at that time and he would learn all night. And then the Gemara tells us that when dawn came in the morning, Nichnasu Chachmei Yisrael Etzlai, the Chachamim of Klal Yisrael would come in and they would discuss with the Melech, with David HaMelech, the problems of Klal Yisrael. And the Gemara relates a conversation that happened one morning. And they said to him, Adonenu HaMelech, our master, our king, Amcha Yisrael Tzorech Parnassah. The nation of Klal Yisrael, Tzrichen Parnassah, has to have Parnassah. So Omar Lahem, so David HaMelech gave them the ideal situation. Listen to what David HaMelech said. Lechu v'hisparnasu ze mizeh. Go and support each other. In other words, become a nation where people support and sustain each other. And that's really the beauty and the ideal way of Klal Yisrael making Parnassah, when one can give Parnassah to each other, where we could work for each other and we could work together. That was the ideal that David HaMelech wanted to accomplish. And that's the ideal of the Parnassah Expo. As a matter of fact, the whole idea of this expo is that not only those that are looking for jobs will come, but perhaps even more important, those who already have companies and are looking for good workers, looking for people that want to elevate the position that they've been until now. They'll be able to come and meet people from all kinds of fields, from healthcare, marketing, real estate, technology. Every company will be there. Every company is looking for wonderful workers, and there will be many people that will be looking to get jobs in these fields. So everybody is helping each other, and that's exactly what David HaMelech felt the ideal was. Lechu v'hisparnasu ze mizeh. That's what the ideal is. You know, it strikes me very interesting that this February 12th, this fair that's taking place is happening in the month of Adar. And you know, it's interesting. Haman in the Megillah, he says to Achashverosh, Yeshnoi am echad mefuzar u'mefoirad beino amim. There's a nation that's scattered and dispersed among the nations of the world. But there's a deeper meaning. It just doesn't mean that there are Jews all over the world. What Mefarshim say is that one of the problems of Klal Yisrael was they were not a united people. They were separate. They didn't get along with each other. And Esther understood that. And that's why when she says later in the Megillah, when she says to Mordechai, listen what she says, Leich kenois es kol haYehudim. Gather all the Jews together. Gather them in Achdos. Let them help one each other. Let them support one each other. And that's exactly what's happening at this Parnassah Expo. Leich kenois kol haYehudim. All types of Jews are going to be there. Last time at this Parnassah fair, there were over 7,000 people together. And so many people found new work, and so many people found new employees for their companies, and everybody benefited. As a matter of fact, when there is an Achdus like this, we know that what happens at the end of the Megillah, Al Kain, HaYehudim, HaProzim, those Yidden that were all spread out in the different cities, what happened was that there was an Achdus, and the mitzvah became Umashloyach Monos Ish L'Reyeho. Each one sent delicacies to each other, because that was the unity, that was the Achdus. And that's really what we're trying to make sure happens over here. As a matter of fact, at this fair, there will be many, many experts in the field of law, in the field of import and export, all kinds of businesses, anything that you could think of. There will be the employers, there will be the employees, and everybody can get together and everybody can benefit each other. And I want to tell you something frightening. You know, getting together and helping another Yid is very, very special. There's a Gemara in Bav Metzia Daf Nun Tes Amud Aleph, and the Gemara tells us, La'olam yehei adam zohir b'tfua b'toich beisai. A person has to make sure that there is parnassah, that there is food in the house. She'ein meriva metzuya b'toich beisai shel adam ela al iskei tfua. Many times, Shalom Bayis problems happen because there's no food, there's not enough Parnassah. And so when you get the best workers for your company and you're going to be making more money, that leads to bracha and that leads to Shalom Bayis in your home. And when, of course, somebody who's coming to look for a job and you go there and you're going to find a good job, that's going to help in your Shalom Bayis. That's the biggest blessing. And I'll tell you something fascinating that once occurred to me. You know, all of us who daven Shemoneh Esrei every day, 3 times a day, we say about blessing. Baruch Aleinu Hashem Elokeinu es hashana hatov v'hazois. We say the word bracha 6 times if you daven Nusach Sfarad, and 4 times if you daven Nusach Ashkenaz. And we say Ubaruch Shenoseinu Kashanim HaToves Ki El Tov V'Meitiv Otam Ubaruch Hashanim Baruch Ato Hashem Ubaruch Hashanim. This is the bracha of Parnassah. Isn't it interesting? Of all the ideals that we have in this world, when you talk about asking for Parnassah, we express it in the term of Baruch, of bracha, of blessing. Why is that? And you know what I think? Because I think that, unfortunately, having to go out to work is really a curse. In other words, the Eivishter, once Adam and Chava were cursed, the Eivishter said, "B'zeyas apecha toichal lechem." With the sweat of your brow, you're going to have to put food on the table. Because of the original Aveira, that's why Klal Yisrael has to go out and sweat and make a Parnassah. So what we're asking Hashem is, please, please give us the bracha, give us Parnassah. How do you get that today? We can work with each other. We can bring that bracha. We can bring that bracha of Parnassah to each other, and we can bring the bracha of Shalom Bayis. I want to tell you a beautiful story, and then we'll end with a great thought. You know, I heard this story from Rabbi Paysach, a friend, and he said that once someone came to the Brisker Rav Velvel Soloveitchik, and this had to be probably the end of the 1940s or the 1950s, and they got into a discussion, and the Brisker Rav asked the fellow, he said, "What do you do?" In other words, what's your occupation? And the person said, "I'm a lawyer." And the Brisker Rav, they went on into a further conversation. Then once again, the Brisker Rav asked him, "What do you do?" And he was surprised because the Brisker Rav's a genius, right? So obviously, if he said a few minutes ago that he's a lawyer, obviously he knows that he's a lawyer. He said, "Rebbe, I'm a lawyer." And listen what the Brisker Rav said to him. He said, "That's not how a Yid answers that question." And he showed him something remarkable that we learn on Yom Kippur. We all know that we learn Yoina as the Haftarah. And listen to this. When Yoina is on that boat, Vayomer Elav, they said to him, Hagida Lonu Basher, you know, what's happening here? And then they said to him, Ma Malachtacha, what do you do? And listen what Yoina answers. This is what the Brisker Rav said. Vayomer Aleim, he said to them, Ivri Anochi, I am a Yid. V'yas Hashem Alekei Hashemayim Ani Yara, and I fear Hashem. In other words, they asked him, what do you do? What's your occupation? And he said, Ivri Anochi, I am a Yid, I fear Hashem. And listen to what the Radak says. Kivan Sha'omar, as soon as he said, Hashem Alekei Hashemayim Ani Yara, when he said, I fear Hashem, Hey Shiv Lahem Al Shelos Amam Alachtacha. That was the answer to what your job is. You're a Yid. You have to help Yidden. You have to be concerned for your fellow brothers and sisters in Klal Yisrael. That's what your job is. Ma malachtecha ivri anoichi. And Rabbi Friend told me that when he told over the story in Baltimore, a few weeks later, a fellow, a stockbroker, called him up and said, Rebbe, I want you to know, ever since I heard that story, I'm a stockbroker, and I put a paperweight on my desk, and on the desk, on that paperweight, it said, Ivri anoichi. I am a Yid. That's the answer to what a job is. And he said, I'll tell you the truth, that when I answer the phone now and I'm about to make a deal, I think to myself, am I acting the way a Yid is supposed to act? That's the job. That's Parnassah. You want to be somebody who brings bracha into someone's life? You want to bring bracha into your life with Parnassah and Shalom Bayis? This is the way. Ivri Anoichi. Fear Hashem, know that there's not only Avas Hashem, there's Avas Yisrael. And by coming here and giving jobs to people and finding people that will be able to enhance your business, that's the ultimate Ivri Anoichi. That's what you're doing, helping each other. So I just want to end with this beautiful thought. You know, as we stand here now in the beginning of February 2013, we've witnessed in the past few months a tremendous amount of devastation. that was almost unparalleled in America. Billions of dollars were lost within a matter of days up along the East Coast. And we know so many people whose Parnassah and homes were gone, whether it's Seagate, Oceanside, Five Towns, Long Beach, many places, people really suffer terribly. And I don't have to tell you, the job market is a difficult market today. So how do we respond to what happened? So it occurred to me, we saw Mashiv Haruach, Umoyrid HaGoshem in the worst way. Mashiv Haruach, the wind swept in, Umoyrid HaGoshem, and the rains came down, and there was devastation. Perhaps we have to have it a different way. Mashiv Haruach, let us bring more ruchnius into our homes. Umoyrid HaGoshem, let's minimize the focus of Gashmias. Let's minimize our focus. Let's bring into our homes more ruchnius. And you know something? I once heard something in the name of Rabbi Yisrael Salanta that's fabulous. He said, another Yid's Gashmias should be your Ruchnias. Isn't that great? Another Yid's Gashmias, the needs and the requirements of another Yid. That may be Gashmias for him, but when you help him, that's your Ruchnias. Mashiv Haruach, let's spread Ruchnias by helping somebody else's Gashmias. Let's get involved in the Parnassah of other people, in our own Parnassah, trying to get the best people for our jobs, and perhaps to give people who need the jobs, we'll give them jobs. And then in that way, we will be those people, that Lech Kenois Al Yehudim, that all those people that will come to this Parnassah Expo, they will then be able to gather as one, support each other, do exactly what David HaMelech wanted, that Klal Yisrael should support each other, and then we'll be Zeicha to see Mashiach ben David come in our day. Thank you.
All Yisrael, we'll join together as one, we'll succeed. As one community with one mind, we'll conquer our goals. The Hispanis